are alive.
Yes, that's right. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Byerly.
Here.
Councilmember Conklin.
Here.
Councilmember Missouri. Councilmember Stevenson.
Here.
Councilmember Brinker.
Here.
Councilmember Morris.
Yep.
Mayor Long.
Here. Yeah, you should be a little louder. All right, approval of the minutes for May 1st. Anyone? Second.
Move approval.
Motion, second. Any discussion on the motion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Byerly.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Public comments and requests. You have anything? Can you name please where you live?
My name's Alan Neville, I'm on Cayman, and I just wanted to tell everybody it's planning tomorrow. For city council or our office, we did a good campaign. Now, I just want to say may the best man person win.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
Bye.
Anyone else? All right. 4B, use of Memorial Park.
The Luna and Ha Wellness Studio is requesting use of Memorial Park on June 21st, July 16th, and August 13th from 6 to 7 p.m. for free yoga classes for the community. They have provided the proof of liability insurance, and I'll work with them to make sure all the park rules and regulations are followed.
What's the wish of council?
So moved. Second.
A motion on the floor and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Byerly.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Use the city authority portion of Nittany Road by the Dirty Dobbers.
Niles happens to be here.
Yes.
First of all, people aren't familiar, like just briefly let you know who the Dirty Dabbers are. We're a 501c charitable corporation. Our charter is to promote safe motorcycling, off-road motorcycling to the kids in our area. We presently own our own 100-acre free riding park. So these kids in Clinton County, there is no public ground whatsoever for somebody who rides a dirt bike. Kids can legally ride. So we have a 100-acre free riding park. It's free for all for these kids to learn how to ride and get educated on riding. We promote, we support the park by having an annual dual sport ride. Our dual sport ride is a non-competitive, it's not a race, it's a non-competitive scenic tour, Central Pennsylvania. And it's a national series of which I've been in since the beginning of it over 30 some years ago. And we represent the state of Pennsylvania. We are the largest single event in Clinton County. We come in over 1,000 people, riders, their wives, their families for over a 4-day period of time. We are sanctioned and we have permits from the state in Sproul, Bald Eagle, and Tyadotten Forestry. And we've enjoyed this relationship for over 33 years with that. We've had a little bit of a falling out with what the city would like us to use or not. What we're requesting this year is 4/10 of a mile use of Nittany Road, which is a Castanea Township right of way, of which we have written permission from Castanea to use it. And the reason we need to use that is the event goes through East End Valley, or the Nittany Valley on the East End. And other than running 500 motorcycles through the city of Lock Haven on small streets, which would be unsafe, we want to use that right of way to go over the mountain that puts them into the other side. And then we're in private ground or state forest ground for the remainder of the event. Anybody has any questions about the event?
Questions? Anyone?
I'll give a little background explanation. So last year, the city authority had stated that that would be the last year they gave approval to the Dirty Dabbers. So council was told that from the authority. The authority, of course, doesn't have any insurance. The city pays the insurance on all the city authority property. So this year, the route changed, and it is on a portion that if you look at the liquid fuels map, Castanea does show on the liquid fuels map that is the portion that Niles and the Dabbers intend to use as in, I think it says impact, does it say impassable, something like that. But anyway, township access right away. And that's the section that Niles is asking for permission to use, which is what appeared in your packet last time. Castanea had given their approval for that. In the interim, the city authority got a hold of me, their administrator, and said, no, they can't use that, and then changed their mind and said, yes, they can use that. And so, they provided the insurances, and the city authority says they can use it. So council's approval is basically to accept the liability of insurance, since you are the ones providing the insurance on the property. And that'll enable the race to go forward then.
Any damage to the road, you guys, I'm Tony Stopper. I'm Tony Stopper, Boulder. Are you planning on doing any restoration to the road for any damage?
Of the registration for the event?
Restoration to the
Or
road.
restoration, yes, and in my letter of request, I said, we will be responsible for any damage that we would repair on the road. The road we're using is an actual gravel road. It goes up around the old water tank, and it enters at Castanea at their gate, and it exits city property at the gate right above the water tank.
Now, I have a contractor too at that water tank. We started today. So they're doing rehab to that water tank. So they might have equipment up there. Everything. It's just small,
Yeah, I don't see that as a problem. From the window that we're talking about is a window Saturday morning from 10 o'clock in the morning for a 1 hour window. So from the time the first rider is through to the last rider is a 1 hour window Saturday morning. I don't know what your work schedule is, but on that type of road, there would be room for equipment without having a conflict.
when do you plan on doing restoration to the road?
It is June 3rd.
Right. When do you plan on restoring the road after the damage?
In the past, with our contract that we've had with the city, we've always had to do a restoration within 30 days after the.
Okay, so we maintain that road up through there, up to the end of the reservoir. I know the Monday after the event, I'll get a phone call from somebody that has something on the tower. They'll call us if there's any damage, any ruts or anything, they'll call us to complain. So I just want to make sure you guys get to it at the end of the day.
Well, we don't go where we're going on the road, the tower access turns to the left there as far as the beginning of that, but we're not in
Yeah,
that.
right, but you're still on the road, going up past the reservoir, which
We
we
are.
maintain, yeah. I know that damage, like I'll be getting the phone call, but
Okay, and we said in a letter that we're willing and able. In fact, last year on the Doug Road, we put over 100 hours of man hours plus a full day of my excavator, putting in water bars and stuff and restoring that road, of which the city contracted or the authority contracted with an independent forester that took pictures prior to and after the event and stated that there was no appreciable damage done. And we went back and still put in water bars and fixed the road where it wasn't from the damage we did, but the road needed fixing, and we had the volunteer service to do that. And we're certainly willing on this road, the same thing. And like I say, it's not a large portion of ground water.
as long as it's done, we'll fix it rather quicker. Everything.
I think his point is whenever there's any kind of erosion on that access road, the entities that use the towers and own the towers, if there's any damage and it's difficult for them to pass, they call the city and they want us on demand up there fixing it. So I think that's what his concern is, you know,
But we have the
waiting the 30
capability
days, we
and
would have
knowing
already had to fix it for them.
the nature of that road and the capability we have and the ability, I don't see a problem in that. It's, it's a very established, it's not like using the old Doug Road.
Right.
It's a very established road.
Swish Council.
I move approval of the request.
A second.
Motion on the floor in a second. Any further discussion, questions, comments?
Just an observation, but just, I find it interesting that that's the road you're taking up over the mountain and down the other side into the Eastern Valley, because there was a gentleman that worked at Havermill Paper Company when I was a kid that lived in the farm on that far side and used to ride his motorcycle over that road, even when the gates were there, and would ride around there to get to work. He would go all summer long. He rode his bike over his motorcycle over that.
Yeah, it
road.
certainly is a short.
So
cut to get
it
from
is
one
a
valley
huge
to the
short
next.
cut. I've often thought about it. My sister lives on the other side. So, but it's just interesting that from my childhood and growing up, that there's gonna be somebody else using that road again for with motorcycles, so.
Nostalgia.
It all comes around, doesn't it?
Any other comments, questions? Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Byerly.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Councilmember Britton. Councilmember Morris.
yes,
4D, use of the floating stage for Kenley wedding.
Samantha Kenley is requesting the use of the floating stage on June 15th, 2024 for a private wedding. This would take place right before the summer concert series. The floating stage will be in place. Work with them for any schedule conflicts that might arise, and they'll provide proof of liability insurance. And in the event that the summer concert series is moved up at all, I don't anticipate it being a problem because she said she only needs the stage for about an hour, so.
Not gonna be all that private.
It's all quite an audience.
Yes. What's wish council?
Second.
Motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion?
Casey, can you make sure she's aware that if we happen to have high water, we cannot allow them to use that?
Yeah, I did talk with her about this.
Okay.
Anything else? Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Byerly.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Councilmember Britton.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris.
yes,
Mayor Wong.
Yes. Do you have any-
I have none, Your Honor.
All right, unfinished business 5A, consideration of resolution number 2023-16.
This is a resolution, council was agreeable to at its last meeting for consideration at this meeting to provide for the qualifications of members of the Levy Advisory Committee, which was established in 1994. to be either city residents or property owners paying taxes to the city. And that both of those categories, which sometimes are the exact same person, shall be eligible for appointment to the levy advisory.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? Questions or comments? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Byerly.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson. Councilmember Lawrence.
Yes.
Yes. Are you okay, Richard?
His mic's hitting his beard.
Sounds like somebody's tackling you there.
My connection is a little uncertain.
You mean technology wise or your personal connection?
I'm not going to answer that.
Do we need to reappoint the person who was?
No, because there really were no established qualifications before.
Just say
So
city
he meets
residents,
he meets the
Before.
qualifications now,
because when he was appointed, he was not a city resident.
right?
But
there
now
were
he
no
is qualified.
qualification standards, so he is qualified to have been appointed.
Okay, great.
Okay, any other unfinished business?
I none.
New business, 6A, consideration of the auction of surplus public works equipment.
As fitting as we are here at the treatment plant, this auction is for treatment plant items. These items are not in use, and through our spring cleaning this year, Cruz identified some items to list on municipal bid, which will go live tomorrow morning at 7. So my recommendation is to approve myself to list the above items on this.
It goes live, assuming that we approve it.
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion?
Is this only sewage treatment plant stuff, or do you have, are you preparing the others? Okay.
How many days is the auction?
7 days.
7 days,
7.
okay.
Any other questions? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Byerly.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris.
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes. 6B, consideration of resolution number 2023-17.
This is the annual request for the authorization for the disposition of municipal records under the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission's guidance from the Municipal Records Act. The categories and types are listed and the total quantities. And with council's consideration and adoption, we would be able to move forward with having these purged to make room for yet another year's funds.
I'll move resolution 2023-17.
Second.
Motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion?
Quantity, is that one file cabinet? Is that one
One
box?
box.
One box.
All the boxes are labeled on the end with what they are. So they do get inventoried as they leave. These will be inventoried by department heads when they contain police records. Excuse me, they have to be signed off by the lieutenant.
Any other questions?
Councilmember Byerly.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris.
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
6C, the first quarter of 2023 Comcast franchise fee.
This is the first quarter of 2023 in the amount of $27,034.91, and that's just so that that's reflected in the minutes.
Any questions on that? All right, any other new business?
I had none, Your Honor.
And we have the draft minutes of the Water Filtration Authority.
Yep, those are included for your information. And we didn't get an update from the old project for last week until this week, so that'll be sent out independently to you because it's 3 weeks before our next meeting. So we'll get that out to you.
All right. Anyone have anything else to bring before council this evening?
Just a reminder that on Friday, we have the groundbreaking for Herman Parks. If you have not RSVP'd and you're attending, please let Abby know. And we also have our timeout on Thursday, and we will be announcing the summer concert series lineup, the timeout.
Going off? Yes. Anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
You do.